naive people out there, fans, who read something and assume it must be true. And I have gotten some really weird emails, and I've fought a lot of battles. And let me just say this also. This is completely impromptu, you guys, okay? I didn't plan for this. So if things occur to me, bear with me. If I kind of change subjects and stuff. There are things that I want to say. I try so hard to go out of my way to be kind to people. And those of you that I've gotten to interact with, I think you probably see that. There are people that may, for whatever reason, they will sign for 60 minutes. And when that's done, they're gone. And you won't even see them, I am here for you guys. So I'm happy to spend more time, signing things and interacting and stopping in the hallways, taking pictures, all kinds of stuff. But I hear so many horrible things, and it really hurts my feelings because I try so hard to be kind to people. And I decided that maybe I would take one panel, and it just so happened that it was this one at Tekkoshocon, to address some things that I've heard. I don't want to, how do I say this? I certainly don't want to give any weight or power to the people that say these horrible things. Somebody said to me, well, you're giving them what they want. They want attention, and now they're going to feel like, look, he's actually talking about it online because I made this horrible thing up. I suppose that's possible, but I'm the kind of person that I hate unresolution. You know what I mean? I hate people thinking something or wondering or believing something that is so blatantly, horribly untrue. And so I wanted to take this opportunity to have a talk about it with you guys. So I made myself a list, actually, of some of the crazy things that I've heard. And I'm going to go through some of these, and they'll be funny. Some of them will be funny. Some will be like, oh, crazy. And then we'll open it up. And I'll be happy to tell you things, to answer questions. Or if you've heard something, and I'll bet some of you have, and you're like wondering. Let me start by saying this. This is kind of funny because my mom's over here. Somebody asked her today if I had a daughter. No. I will tell you guys the truth, and you will hear it from my mouth. I was married for 7 years, and the woman that I married had 2 children, so I was their stepdad. And I loved them very much, and we had a great relationship. They called me Dad, and I was Dad. And we divorced in 2001. And so I don't have any children of my own, and I'm divorced. So that's an answer to that question. Has he been married? Is he married? Does he have kids? That kind of thing. I don't have any children of my own. Here we go. Let's talk about some funny things. Here's the first one that's kind of lighthearted. I've gotten so many emails over the last month saying, I heard that you were quitting voice acting to start a church. Not true. At the risk of sounding weird, my church is my life, is my world. I don't believe that God lives in a building someplace and you go and visit him on Sunday. He is wherever you are. Okay? So while I grew up in church, I have come to believe that God is much bigger than 4 brick walls and podiums and choir lofts. And so wherever I go, if I'm at a convention on Sunday, I'll spend some time by myself, and that is my church. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to be starting any churches, and I have certainly no intention of quitting voice acting. So those of you that are watching, I'm sorry, but you're stuck with me for a while. Okay? Okay, let's talk about... This is one of the biggest ones. Yowie. I've talked about this before, but I have heard some of the most crazy things, and I want to address them. I have heard from so many people, and there are so many people that hear horrible things related to me and my intense hatred for Yowie. that I hate it so much. I'm going to tell you some of the things I've heard. I've heard that Vic hates Yowie so much that fans have come up to him at conventions and given him Yowie, to ask him to sign Yowie, and he threw the Sharpie at them and got up and walked away. Are you listening? That has never happened, ever. I have never walked away from an autograph session for any reason. I've never thrown a Sharpie at anyone, and I have never, ever expressed any anger or malice to anyone because they like Yowie or they ask me to sign Yowie. Here's the way it works. Let's say, can I borrow you for the sake of, pull that DVD out there, okay? She's a Yowie fan. Didn't know it, did you? This is the way I handle Yowie fans and Yowie signing at autograph sessions around the world. You come up to me and you say, would you sign this for me? Would you sign this for me? Oh, ooh. You know what, sweetie? I really don't feel comfortable signing these kind of things, but I would love to sign something else for you.
Fair enough, yes.
That's what I do. Every time. Every time. Every time. Okay? Every time. There has never been an exception where I've been like, ew, gross, get that away from me. You know what's another one I heard? I heard that somebody slid Yowie under my door of my hotel room at a convention, and that I was so enraged that I'm currently suing the hotel. Okay, now that's just plain, forgive my French, asinine. You can't sue a hotel because someone slid something under your door. But I didn't, first of all, are you listening? No one has ever slid anything under my door. They just say they did. Right? They just say they did. Okay? Because it's some attention. It sounds cool. Yeah, I totally pwned Vic Mignogna. I stuck Yowie under his door. I'm so cool.
I'm not racist anymore because Vic shoves his religion down my throat and I can't stand it. I mean, I've never seen you do that.
Can I just ask you guys, you've been sitting in here with me and I've mentioned it a few times, do you feel like I've shoved something down your throat?
No.
There may be one or two of you. Oh my gosh, now my mom's in the game. Uh-oh. Yes, Mom?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 long-time Rangers.
Yeah.
Know you well. Why didn't you let them answer that?
Oh, I'd rather not. No, they never have. And if they had, you know what I would do? Throw them in the trash and go to bed. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be storming around knocking on doors to find out who did it. But the point is, it's never happened. That's my point. But those are the kind of things. And there have been many questions over the years about Yowie pairings. Fi and Kurogane from Tsubasa, Roy and Ed. I mean, oh my gosh, how about Elric-cest, like between the... Okay, can I just say, look, this is what I feel about Yowie. Are you videotaping? Right out of my mouth, here it comes. If you like Yowie, that's fine. God bless you. You hear me? God bless you. I love you. God loves you. Anything you choose is fine. But you must also allow me the freedom not to like what you like. Right? And this is where the problem occurs. There's a lot of people, they want you to like what they like. Do you like Yowie, or do you like this, or what do you think of this? Because they so desperately want you to like what they like. And I never say, oh, you're an idiot for liking that. I'll just say, you know what, that's really not my thing. If you like it, that's okay. You know, you are free to like what you like. But I must also be free to like what I like. That's only fair, right? So a lot of the mean things that have come up about Yowie have been because of that. So that is my stance on that. It is not my thing. It's not for me. As far as pairings with characters, you guys, I voice the characters the way the directors have me do it. Colleen Klinkenbeard and I, when we started working on Tsubasa, Colleen and I talked about this Phi Korogane thing. And we did not see that that was very, very publicly expressed in the anime. Now, if it is in the manga, that's cool. We're not making the manga. We're making the anime. And so we decided to take a certain path on that. Apart from that, I have no particular opinion about it. But my point is this. You are free to like what you like. And I love you regardless of what you like. But please don't take pot shots at me or make up horrible things just because I don't particularly embrace certain things that you like. That clear? Does that make sense? Okay. Yep. Now, reality thing brings me to another topic. If I had a nickel for every person who's written me and said, I heard that you're homophobic and you hate gay people. Are you listening? World, I love gay people. Are you listening? I have some very good friends that are gay. Voice actors, friends in my life. I love them because God loves them. Okay? Now, is it my lifestyle? No, but that's fine. Again, right? It's not my thing, but who am I to condemn you? But I think somewhere along the line, people, I don't even know where they get it, you guys. But you know, I got an email yesterday. And the email said, it started out this way. I know that you refuse to play homosexual characters, blah, blah, blah. And then it went on, and I'm like, whoa, 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 stop right there. How do you know that? I've never said that. I've never said I won't play this kind of character. I probably have played characters that are homosexual. Do you see my point? They start from a premise of assuming something is true. Well, I know that you refuse to play homosexual characters. How do you know that? I never said that, ever, to anyone. So I wanted to clear the air about that as well. I have a lot of friends, a lot of voice actors that are gay, and I am totally cool with that. If they're cool with me being heterosexual, I'm cool with them being gay. It's fine. Please do what you guys can too. When you're online, when you're on the internet, do what you can to dispel things, okay? You have some power of your own. Get on there and go, hey, you know what? I sat there 10 feet away from him, and he looked us right in the eye, and he shared his heart about these things, and this is the case. This is the truth here. Instead of what somebody on Cause Fu wrote. Or what are some of the other ones?
4chan.
4chan.
Twitter.
You know what, you guys? I'll never understand why there's so many people out there that just are haters. You know what I mean? It's like they somehow draw energy from hating things. They define themselves by what they're against. You know what I mean? That's their whole life, is finding something to be mad about. Finding something to be against. Finding someone to vilify. Finding someone to hate on. And so when there are those of us that are in this industry that are relatively well known for whatever reason, we're the perfect target. Because when they say Crispin Freeman this, or Greg Ayers this, or Vic Mignogna this, a lot of people know who they're talking about. And that gets them the attention that they're looking for. So you guys have some power as well. And I would like to encourage you, when we leave tonight, to do what you can when you're online with these people. And say, you know what, dude, why don't you go get a paper route or something? You know, go. Why don't you sow your energy and your life into something productive? Into building people up and making your world a better place. Instead of hurting people that you've never even met. You know? Next. Oh, this is a great one. My mother is sitting right here. I grew up in a very conservative home. Right? My grandfather was the pastor of our church. I was literally born in the pew of a church, okay? I was there every Sunday, every Wednesday. I even started going to the Christian school at my church that my grandfather started. I grew up in such a conservative home, you guys, that my mother used to tell me, Vic, if you want to go see Star Wars, that's fine. Don't tell your grandfather, because he would die if he knew that you went to see movies. Right? Very conservative, huh? To this day, I'm old, you guys. I'm pretty old. To this day in my life, I have never been drunk a day in my life. Ever. Ever. I'm not joking. You hear me? I have never been intoxicated a day in my life. Never. In fact, I used to be able to tell people I've never even tasted beer. Never even tasted it. And a couple of years ago, I was at a convention with none other than Colleen Klinkenbeard. And I'm sitting there, and I said something, and they were trying this beer. It was some special beer. And she and a couple of people at the table were like, oh, this is really good beer. Vic, you gotta try this. And I'm like, yeah, I've never tasted beer. I've never drank beer. And she's like, oh my gosh, you're gonna try this. And so I like, yeah, it sucks. So that's a sip, is all of that I've ever had. So I guess technically I can't say that I've never even tasted beer. But I've never drank. Never drank. People make fun of me at my age. People make fun of me because they'll say a particular mixed drink and I'll go, what is that? And they'll laugh at me. I have no clue about it. I never knew about it when I was growing up. I went to conservative schools, and when I was old enough to choose for myself, I really wasn't interested that much in it. And it wasn't until probably maybe 10 years ago that I even started casually having a glass of wine with dinner. A glass, the end. Never, ever, ever to excess. Never, ever, ever one time, never have I been drunk. Now that's not to say you're bad if you have. I'm just setting a premise here, okay? This is the premise. I've never been. I have read and heard stories that I have been seen falling down, stumbling drunk at conventions. Literally, like, leaning against tables because I couldn't stand up. I've never been drunk a day in my life, especially at a convention, much less anywhere else on the planet. I don't even know where that comes from. But if you ever hear anything like that, I want you to know the truth from me. It's never happened. Never, ever, ever. Not even once. The funny thing is, now this is the funny part. Are you with me? Have I lost you yet, or are you still with me? Listen to this one. There are voice actors and industry guests who go to conventions and get plastered all the time. But nobody cares. I don't know, it's cool or whatever. But for some reason, they got the sight set. That, I mean, I don't really quite understand it. And I don't understand what it is, why these handful of people feel such a necessity to try to do this. I've never been mean to them or, cause them any trouble or anything. But they say these kind of things. You know what I did one time? You're going to love this. Last year, I got so upset by one of these rumors about me being drunk. Now, how many cameras and videos are at an anime convention?
Thousands.
Hundreds, right? At least hundreds. If I am drunk and stumbling around as much as they say, how come there's no video? Everyone's shooting video all the time. But there isn't any. So you know what I did one time? I had a friend of mine go on one of these websites and say, you guys are being hurtful and cruel and lying, and I challenge anyone to produce any video evidence of Vic being drunk at all, and I'll give you $100. And I literally set up a PayPal account. You remember this? I set up a PayPal account called VicIsADrunk.com. I did it, and I put $100 of my own money in there, and it's still there because there isn't any video evidence. There isn't. It's never happened. But do you see how funny this is? You're offering offering somebody $100 and there is no proof. They have no proof. They just like to say mean things about people. I know, right? So, I want you guys to know from my mouth the truth about these things. And that's why I thought this might be an interesting panel. I hope I'm not boring you. Is this okay so far? Yeah. Hold on. I'm totally going to take questions. So, hold on. What else? Oh, okay. Angry at fans. I get emails occasionally that say, I heard that you don't like your fans and that you're mean. Are you hearing this? I mean, I'm thinking, is this like the Star Trek episode where there's the evil Kirk and the good Kirk, and this evil Vic is showing up at conventions that I don't know about, or what? But they're like, they said, you know, I've heard that you're mean to fans and that you're angry toward fans and stuff. And I wrote them back and I said, first of all, sweetie, I'm writing you back. What does that mean? I mean, I get emails all the time from people that say, I wrote you and 10 other voice actors and you were the only one that wrote back. No. My point is that I'm actually taking the time to reply to this because it really bothers me when I get stuff like that. And I said, secondly, you know, sweetie, go online and watch YouTube for about 4 minutes and see how much I love and appreciate the people that like my work. That's why I don't do these events because I hate fans or that I'm angry at. And so again, I think you guys that I've hung out with this weekend, you guys know firsthand that that is absolutely not true. So if you ever hear anything like that, you have the first-hand authority to say, no, that's absolutely not true. Nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, I'll tell you a little secret, and I don't want you guys to go, aww. I just want to tell you the truth. This is my chance to kind of open my heart to you. I have no children. I have no real family to speak of, my mom, but I have no brothers or sisters. I'm the only child. And I have told my mom and Michelle and many of my friends, I consider you like a family.
We're your family too.
I'm just being honest. I'm not being warm and fuzzy. I'm just being honest with you. I feel like, and again, I don't want to over-spiritualize this, but I feel like God has put me in the place that I am, doing the things that I do for a purpose. I may not necessarily know what that purpose is, but I do believe I have a purpose here. And I take that very, very seriously. I have no family at home to take care of. I have no brothers or sisters. So I have come to really embrace you guys as my opportunity. You know what? I love being able to say things or share things to encourage you in the right direction. If I had a nickel for every email that I've gotten from people that have written me at a difficult time in their life, when they're going through great tragedy, or great pain, heartbreak, hard times, and I'll write them back and try to be an encouragement when I can, if I can. Because that's what I believe is my purpose. So you can imagine how much it hurts me to hear people say that I hate the fans or that I'm angry or mean to my fans. Because I would never, never want that to be the case. So, okay, let's see. What else? I've heard rumors that there are like voice actors who hate each other. And that I don't like certain voice actors, or they don't like me. Well, I can't speak of what other voice actors feel for me. Only they can tell you that. But I can promise you this. I really like the voice actors that I work with. I have an enormous amount of respect for their talent. Many of them, we become very fast friends. And there is nobody that I would wish any ill will for or that I have any kind of feud with. If you hear that, it didn't come from me. Okay? Just clearing that up. Because I think very highly of the people that I have worked with and the people that I do work with. I don't really know where that kind of stuff comes from, except just to kind of get a little attention. And it's like, it's like those tabloids, You go to the grocery store and you see those tabloids, at the counter, you know, Jennifer Aniston pregnant with Michael Jackson's baby or something. You know? And I mean, it's so completely outlandish, you know. Alien beats up Brad Pitt or something. You know what I mean? It's so crazy. And you think, how can they publish that stuff? But they do, just because it's crazy and fun to talk about. But what sometimes gets lost is that there are actually flesh and blood human beings behind those stories. And it sometimes hurts. Now, if it's something really crazy that nobody would believe it's just kind of funny to write about, that's one thing. But you say things that people are like, I wonder if that's true. Ooh. And then what happens is, you know what happens? This guy reads something online, and he goes, I wonder if that's true. And while he's wondering, he goes into a chat room over here with 15 people, and he says, you know what I just read? That Vic Mignogna was like stumbling, fall down drunk at cons all the time. Not just once, but all the time. And those 15 people will take that rumor, and then they'll just go and say, hey, did you know that Vic is like, he felt like completely like sloshed all the time at cons? You see how it decays? From, I heard this and I don't really know if it's true, to, oh yeah, that's just the way it is. Now I know that I can't stop people from saying things that are not true, but I can at least answer them. And answer them personally and directly, and then you guys can do with that information what you will. And I certainly appreciate your support when you have the chance. Let's see. I have heard occasionally, and I'm just gonna brush by this really quickly. I've heard from time to time that I'm very demanding at conventions. And let me just say this. I am only demanding in so much as I want to make this event as good for you as possible. Okay? I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. If I come into a room and, like, let's say we're going to have, okay, just bear with me. Let's say we're going to have a Q&A session, right? And I call, and I go into this room, and the room seats 40 people. And there are 200 people outside lined up. The only thing in my mind is, there are 200 people that wanted to come and be a part of this, and they're not going to get to be, purely because it was put in a room that was too small. And so I will say, hey, can we possibly put this somewhere else? Can we do something to accommodate the people that came to the convention who want to be a part of this? Sometimes events, and I'm not talking about Tekko, by the way. Tekko rules. This is a great Kanye. Awesome Kanye. But I'll go to conventions and they'll say, yeah, we've got you for an autograph session for an hour. I'm like, an hour? It'll take 3 hours to sign this line right here that's already lined up. And you know what they'll say? Sometimes they'll be like, well, then, you just sign, and when the hour's up, we'll tell the rest of them, we'll tell them, sorry, too bad. I can't do that. Those people came to get stuff signed and to meet Greg, or to meet Wendy, or to meet Todd Havercorn. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, no, that's unacceptable. Let's find a way to make this work. Well, sometimes that gets perceived as being demanding. But it's only demanding because I'm trying to do the best I can to make this a great experience for all of us. I didn't fly all the way here just to hang out in my hotel. I came here to meet you guys, right? So that's what I'm here for. And there are some people that don't feel the same way, but I'm not one of them, and I'm just letting you know that. There are people out there that are like, you know what, this is how much I'll do, and then I'm done. And I'm going to go and see the city, or I'm going to go back to my room and hang out. But that's not who I am. I'm here to spend the weekend with you guys. And as much as I'm physically able to, that's my plan. Okay? So if you ever hear anything about being demanding, that's probably kind of the source of it, is trying to make things work as efficiently as possible for everybody to get what they came to the convention to get, or experience whatever events they wanted to experience when they were here. The last thing is this, and then we'll go ahead and take some questions. My faith. You guys, I love God, and I love Jesus, but I'm not Jesus. You know what I mean? I'm a flesh and blood human being, and I screw up just like everybody does. I do things I regret. I say things I feel stupid about later. But it doesn't mean that I don't have a genuine desire to aspire to a certain kind of behavior. You know what I'm saying? I think maybe one of the reasons, I mean, I sometimes people will, they'll be like, you know, I heard that, you know, you got upset because such and such happened, and I thought you were like a Christian. What? Wait a minute. Does that mean Christians don't get upset? Do you see the weirdness here? It's like, wait, I'm a human being. I mean, I get upset, or I lose my temper sometimes, or I forget to do something, or some. It doesn't mean that I don't. It doesn't mean that my faith is not real, or that I don't really believe it. It just means that I'm a frail, imperfect, flawed human being, like we all are. A lot of people tend to hold you to a much higher standard. If you say, hey, you know what, I want to be this person. And then every time you ever fall short of being that person, they're like, bam! Bam! You blew that! Bam! You know what I mean? Like they think you're supposed to be perfect because you try to be this kind of a person. Well, we all fail, don't we? I mean, how many of us would love to have a spotlight shown into our lives every time we've made a bad call? God bless you. But that doesn't change my desire to be the person that God wants me to be. Okay? Okay, thank you. There's a Bible verse that I want to tell you that I think about a lot. Whether you're a religious person or not, most of you probably have heard of the Apostle Paul, right? Paul. He was like the greatest missionary of all time. He single-handedly shared the gospel all over the world and wrote a good portion of the New Testament. A good portion of the New Testament were actually letters that Paul wrote to churches in different cities. The book of Romans, Paul wrote that to the church in Rome. The book of the Corinthians was written to the church in Corinth. All of those books of the Bible were actually letters that Paul wrote to these churches. And Paul, probably the greatest Christian who ever lived, you know what he wrote? He wrote a verse that I love because it so perfectly speaks to the frailty of human beings. You know what he says? The things that I want to do, I don't do. And the things that I don't want to do, I end up doing. This is the greatest Christian who ever lived saying this. I'm the same way, and you are too, right? We catch ourselves saying and doing things that we didn't want to do. We catch ourselves not doing things that we wanted to do, or meant to do, or intended to do. That is the crazy paradox of being a human being. So I just want to go on record as saying, just because I make mistakes and flub up from time to time, my faith is very important to me. And I want to do my best to let it shine through me, even when I make mistakes. It doesn't mean that I don't really believe or hold strongly to what I say I believe. So that's what I wanted to say about that. Okay. Now comes the scary part. Let's open it up to questions, and let's just talk about stuff.
All right. First off, it's very interesting I came to this panel because we were talking about yesterday. I was like, people have been really, really unfair to you, and it just really breaks my heart because you really go out of your way to, you know, show that you're a Christian and show that you're just a generally good person. And even some, of course, I'm not going to say any names, of course, but some other actors, I believe, kind of have this like, oh, you know, there's the super Christian or whatever, and it's hard. But my question is, supposedly, this has to do with fans. Like, you get angry. I know it's not true, but I just want to know what you say about it.
Mm-hmm.
at like people dressing as Ed if they're female. Like, oh, Ed's not a girl, so you can't cosplay as Ed.
Never said that once in my life. Never said that once in my life.
Thought about it. I've heard that before, and I'm like,
Did you hear what she said? She said that she has heard that I tease girls that dress as Ed because I say Ed's not a girl, so you can't cosplay Ed.
Yeah.
Are you listening to me? You still shooting? I have never said that one time in my life. Never, ever. In fact, how many Eds are in the room? How many of you, when I saw you, did I go, you look awesome? Did I say that to you? Did I say that to you? Did I say that to you? Did I say that? There's 4 right there. Exactly the opposite of what, you see what I'm saying? Interesting, isn't it? That brings me up, that reminds me of a really horrible rumor that I heard. I'm not even going to say it because they're young people here. It's just absurd. It's really, really absurd. Okay, sorry. I shouldn't have even said that because now you're like, what was it? Okay, what I want to do is, these questions are for the purpose of asking me about things that you may have heard or something. Allow me to clarify, okay?
Okay, yesterday, or today, we were in the line for your concert, and which was wonderful, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
And this girl that was standing in front of me, she said, I can't even believe that he's here. And I just looked at her and I said, how come? And she goes, well, I heard that the last time he was here, some crazy girls found his hotel room, found his room, and he yelled and said, I'm never coming back to this place again.
That is a complete lie. 100% lie. I don't know that any crazed fangirls ever found my room, and you know what? It wouldn't be the first time. And I wouldn't have yelled at them. You know why? Because, I mean, if it were 3 in the morning, I wouldn't have yelled at them. Because you know why? Because I know they're going to go home and get on the internet. And they're going to go, he's a big jerk. He's a cocky jerk. He yelled at us. I'm not stupid, you know? I understand that. No, that has never happened. In fact, you just reminded me of something. What was it? Doggone it. Oh! We talked about this at dinner. There's a big convention in Chicago called Anime Central. Big convention. Last year, I was a guest there. I talked with the con chair. We negotiated the details of my attending. One time, we had one conversation, never spoke of it again. It was done. I mean, we made the plans, done. After the convention, I heard, and this was a rumor that was started by someone on their guest relations staff. So if you read this, you would probably think it's true, right? Because, hey, she's on ASEN guest relations. You know what she was telling people? During the weekend. She was telling people that 2 days before Anime Central started, 2 days before the con, I called the guest relations people or whoever, and demanded $5,000 or I wasn't coming. And that they were so shaken up because they'd been promoting that I was going to be there, they'd been advertising I was going to be there, that they actually contacted their other guests and asked all of their other voice actor guests if they would take less money so that they could pay me the $5,000. In my flipping dreams would I ever get anywhere near something like that. Do you understand me? We're not going to talk about money, but my point is, nothing like that ever happened. There was never anything like that. I've never called and demanded something like that from anybody, number one. And number two, it was coming from a guest relations staff. You know what that means? You know what that tells you? Nobody's safe. People within the staff, within the interworkings of events, if they have some kind of a mean streak or a mean agenda, you're not safe from them just because they're on the staff of the convention. Suffice it to say, she's not on the staff of the convention anymore. And that, you know what else is weird about that kind of lie? It's so easily disproven. I mean, what does it take? 2 minutes for me to call the con chair of Anime Central and say, I just heard this. And she goes, what? You know what I'm saying? how easily is that proven to be a lie? But people say things like that for one purpose alone. Two purposes. One, to get attention. And two, to hurt. To hurt somebody for whatever reason they don't like. Who knows? Maybe they like Yowie. I'm serious, you guys. You think I'm kidding? There are people that have a number of different reasons for why they do something that they do. I've heard people say that write me letters and say, even though you were mean to me at such and such a convention, I really like you. And I would write them back and say, how was I mean to you? And you know what they say? I swear to heaven. You walked by me in the hallway and I said, hey Vic, and you didn't answer me. Are you hearing this? Have you been in the hallways with all these people and we're rushing to try to get to a panel and everybody's talking and I miss one person who says, hey Vic, and I missed it. And they interpret it as I ignored them. I was hating on them. I don't like them. They build this whole thing up. And who knows how many of their friends they talked about it to before they wrote me. You see how problems can get started? And I mean, I'll say hi. I say hi. How many of you guys have I seen in the hallway this weekend and waved at you and said hi? I'll do my best. But again, I'm only human. And if I miss somebody and they take it personally, what can I do about that? Question?
It's actually
Yes.
a comment. This happened a while ago. It was on Wikipedia. Someone.
Oh, well then it must be true.
I hope someone is recording this so this doesn't happen again. Someone really put really nasty stuff about you on there, and I personally was editing it at like 11 o'clock on a school
Well,
night
thank you.
because I thought, you know what, that should not be acceptable.
I wish that just anybody wasn't able to add things to Wikipedia. I really wish that were the case. Really, I do. You know what? Anyway, can I brag on you for a minute? Come here. You guys, this is my dear friend Britt, okay? Hi, Britt. Hi. There were some people on CauseFu saying some very mean, hateful things. Stuff that has no basis in any kind of fact at all. And Britt, because she's my friend, and she knows I love her because we're buddies, she and a couple of people got on there and tried to defend, is that fair to say? Tried to defend me because they know me. They hacked into her computer and did all kinds of damage. She ended up paying the price from these hateful punks. Sorry, is it okay if I call them that?
Yes.
She ended up paying the price. I love you. She ended up paying the price because she tried to do something good. Because she tried to tell them, look, you guys, this is garbage. This is not true. And you don't even know him, and none of that's ever happened. And they went after her. That is the level of that kind of hatred. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. Question? Yes?
It was just like the thing that was mentioned with Wikipedia is that that's one of the problems with our modern age is that, so much information so fast and so little of it can be backed up by anything. It's that, like I said, anyone can go show on for any reason. And a lot of times, someone might not even be trying to be this. Like, I'm bored, so I'm going to make up a story.
Exactly.
And then there was a story I heard a while back. Some college student went on Wikipedia. It was a poet died. And he went on the Wikipedia page and put in a fake quote this guy never said. All kinds of newspapers, news stations used this quote. And then he came out and said he never said that.
Wow.
So that just shows you how well people check their facts.
Well, you know what? Before Vampire Night was announced, people kept putting on Wikipedia that I was playing Ido in Vampire Night. Well, now, I knew already, we've already started recording. I knew I was playing Zero. But I wasn't even allowed to talk about it yet, so I wasn't saying a word. But I had friends of mine, and my mom kept calling me and going, somebody put it up there again. Somebody just kept putting up there this fake cast list. so-and-so is playing this character. Johnny Bosch is playing this character, and Vic's playing this character, and so-and-so, and it was a joke. I mean, none of those people were playing those roles, but they had set it up like it was a real cast list. Like they had some inside information, and this is the cast list for the English dub. And how many people a dozen times went up there and tried to take it and took it down, and somebody went right back and put it back up. I'm not a psychologist, but I think it kind of goes to the idea of wanting to feel powerful. A lot of people have, there are a lot of people who have their world and, the things that they do and their friends and their family, but outside of that, they don't feel like they have any great significance. They don't feel like they have any great importance in the world. And they will seek out that importance at all costs. If it means destroying your reputation, hey, no biggie, I'll do it in a minute. See what I'm saying? Because they want so desperately to feel like they have some influence and some power.
Information is power.
Yeah, information is power. You're right. And again, what they don't understand is that they hurt people when they do that. And they would never want that done to them, but I don't think they sometimes think about the people that they hurt. Yes?
It's just a small rumor, and might as well bring it up.
Sure.
Doing it. I heard that you utterly despise voice acting various characters. For example, the biggest one I heard was you despise voice acting Broly in Dragon Ball Z.
Okay, let me clarify. If I despised voice acting, they wouldn't hire me. Who in the world would pay me to do something that they knew I hated to do, right? There are 1,000 people behind me who would love to play Broly, right? So if hey, I hate this, well, what do you think they're going to do? Goodbye, dude. Get out of the way, and we'll get somebody who will do. See what I'm saying? No, I don't despise Broly. We've talked about this 100 times, and let me clarify. Broly is really hard on my voice. He trashes me for a week. I can't do anything.
I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. I love Broly. I am honored to play Broly. I am honored. It is an honor to play Broly. Okay? I love it. I am honored to be a part of Dragon Ball Z. It's a great show, right? You know what? Dragon Ball Z is responsible for probably a lot of why anime is so popular. Because 10 years ago, right? Because 10 years ago, it was DBZ. Laying the road, man, paving the way. Exactly. I love Broly, and I am honored to be a part of Dragon Ball Z. However, I don't have a very strong voice when it comes to yelling, fighting, power up. I don't do that. I can't do it for very long. And it kind of frustrates me, to be honest with you. It frustrates me that I don't have as resilient a throat as I would like to have, as a lot of those other DBZ actors have developed. I don't despise Broly. I wish I could play him more. I just wish I had a stronger voice to do so. Okay, so that's the clarification there. Yes?
There was a big thing going around that people were saying that you lied about talking to Clamp about Phi. It was weird. They said that you had gone to Clamp and clarified that he was not gay and stuff like that, so we just wanted to clear that one.
Okay, here's that one. You ready? I have never said that I went to Clamp. What I said was Colleen Klinkenbeard was at a convention with Clamp, not me. Colleen was at a convention with Clamp, and she had a conversation with them about the show because Funimation had just licensed it. They hadn't even started recording, I don't think yet. Don't quote me, but I don't think. And she had a conversation with him, and Colleen took away from that there wasn't any huge Phi Kurogane thing. She spent time with him, and her impression was that there wasn't that element. And she told me that. And again, who cares? Is my point. You know what I mean? If we do our best with these shows, and we do it in such a way that the people that made the show approve, and they like what we did with their show, then who cares, you know? Is Phi gay? I don't know. Is Kurogane gay? I don't know. I'm just going to play the character based on what I can see in the script and what I see on the screen. I'm going to do my best with that character. And if I'm not sure, I'm going to follow my director's instructions. And that's it. That's a good tip. Would you like to hear some true wisdom?
They're not real.
I mean, it's fun, you know. I mean, I love Star Wars. Love Star Wars. However, I know that there is not actually a galaxy far, far away with Darth Vader and Imperial Star Destroyers. I know it's not there. It's fun to imagine, and it's fun to, you know, dress up, and it's fun to think about it. But I know that it's not real.
Like people always
And people get militant.
People always obsessed. That's not what a real lightsaber looks like. It's a real lightsaber.
Hey, no, we just lightsabers, man. Yes?
Big about beating anyone or anything, but I
It
read.
doesn't matter how big or small, by the way. It can be something funny if you like.
I read a fan fiction that. Someone wrote it, and they wrote down the lyrics to Brotherhood, and they said something like they came up with the lyrics, they translated it and rhymed it, and then their friend gave it to you to sing.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Okay, let me tell you, I don't know about that. I don't know about what you're fanfic. I don't know anything about that. I will tell you where the lyric came from. There's a girl. Does anybody have a Revic CD with them?
Yeah.
No, the actual CD. One by one they got it with them. Let me see it. A few years ago, I even gave her credit. A few years ago, a girl named Marianne Miller wrote me an email, thank you, and said, I've translated the lyric to Brothers, and she sent it to me. And I took one of the instrumental versions of the song, and I recorded a vocal to it. I didn't do it to make any money. That would be illegal. I don't own the song. So I didn't release the song. I wasn't selling the song. I just recorded it for fun. Because I was kind of a fan of the show. I liked the show. You guys see Full Metal Fantasy today at the concert? I spent $2,000 of my own money making that. Because I'm a fan of the show. See what I'm saying? I don't sell it. What?
More!
But Marianne translated that lyric and sent it to me. And I recorded it. And when I got permission to release the song on a CD, I wrote her an email. And I said, I'm doing this, and I'm going to give you credit for the lyric. And it's right there on the CD. That's where I came up with it. That's how I got it. So I don't know exactly, you know, where you heard, you know what I'm saying, what you heard or anything, but that is how I received the English lyric to Brothers. Okay? Yeah. You want to say something? That's okay if you don't. By the way, you guys, this is Audrey. Audrey actually runs the Rangers store on the Risible Rangers website. So if you've never gotten anything from the Rangers, she's the one that made it happen. So.
This actually happened fairly recently, and this particular person's out because she was Jewish, that she couldn't be a part of the Rangers because of the whole Christian overtones. And I've never seen you do anything to shove any religion down anyone's throat. The Rangers don't discriminate against anybody. Everyone is welcome. And I don't understand how people even get this misconception. I don't understand it.
People look for conflict where there is no conflict. There are some people who look for conflict where there is no conflict. I've heard people say, I'm glad you said that because it reminds me, I've heard people write me and say, you know, well, you know, do I have to be some particular religion to join the Rangers? I'm like, no! The Rangers is like an anime club. You don't have to be any religion. I don't even like the word religion. I mean, I don't even consider myself religious. I love God, but I don't consider myself religious. You understand the difference? There's a big difference. But no, there is absolutely no religious element to the Rangers at all. But there are some people that like to look for conflict where there is no conflict, you know? And let me say this about my faith, real quick. If I believe that I have been given a wonderful gift that is available to anyone, you with me so far? What kind of a monster would I be not to share that?
Yes.
Right? You see my point? You see my point? If I believe that I have been given something so precious, and that you could have it, and you could have it just as easily as I can, and it has nothing to do with what clothes you wear, or how you like to wear your hair, or whether you like to wear black, or whether you like anime, that, by the way, is not from the devil, or whether you have piercings, that gift is just as available to you as it is to me. And if I have been given that gift, what kind of a horrible person would I be not to share it with people? Tell them about it. You can do with it what you will, but I have to share it because it's a good thing. It's a gift. Did you?
I was going to add to I remember that incident, and it wasn't even about you shoving your religion down our throat. It was a comment you made
About the Holocaust.
It was a testimony book.
And
Giving presents. We're having a good time, and there's some kind of rain going on outside, and people are screaming. You're like, we're having a party, and there's a Holocaust going outside. That was it right there.
That's right. Did you hear that? How many of you have seen a YouTube video where Mandy, by the way, this is one of my dearest sweet friends. Mandy, stand up. Mandy is one of the leaders of the Rangers, and she has been there as long as probably anyone. And she and I have developed a really close friendship, and I love her like a sister. And what she just said was, how many of you have seen a video on YouTube where I was given a Ranger book of letters and things? It's on YouTube. Well, here's the point. We were at a convention when Mandy gave this to me, and she was videotaping my response. And we're sitting in this room, and we're trying to find a quiet room, which is not always easy at a convention. And we're sitting there, and I'm talking to the camera, and I'm talking to the people that contributed to making this book for me. And I was sharing my heart, and right when we started, I said, "Hi, you guys." I said, "We're in here, you know, having this quiet time, and it sounds like they're having a Holocaust outside because there was like screaming all kinds of stuff outside." Now, I'm sorry, guys. Don't be offended. Holocaust is a generic word. It's a word. See what I'm saying? It's not a specific thing. There is the Holocaust, and then there is a word, Holocaust. And you can look it up in the dictionary, and it has a generic meaning. I was just referring to all the mayhem and all the loud noise that was going on outside the door. And somebody took it so personally that it was some sort of an anti-Jewish comment. And I was so heartbroken because anybody who knows that I would never say anything like that. My favorite person on the planet was Jewish. You know what I mean? Oh, dictionary definition. A great or complete devastation or destruction. That's just a flat-out generic word. Okay. Yes, ma'am. You're gonna get a hug. Stay right there, okay? Who's got a question? Yes.
I had been out today, and some girl actually said to me, "You know, Vic Mignogna is a little too friendly with his younger female fans."
Oh, dear God.
Oh, dear Lord. Because they're just running away from it.
I'm scared to death.
You can't win. You can't win, can you? You hug on kids, and they love you for it. And some people, you hug on kids, and some people find fault. What do you say to that? What do I do? Do I keep my distance from everybody? No. I'm not going to do that. That's not who I am. Oh, what? Well, yeah, well, look at this cute little girl right here. Can I have a hug? What am I supposed to do? No! Stay back! No. You know what? That's the kind of thing I can't do anything about. I appreciate you saying that. But that's the kind of thing I can't do anything about. You know what the funny thing is? The people that I do embrace appreciate that I embrace them, that I care about them enough to do that. It doesn't matter whether they smell bad.
Sorry.
It doesn't matter what they're wearing. It doesn't matter what they look like. It doesn't matter if they're a guy or a girl. I've hugged plenty of guys today. There's my first one right there. My point is, the people that I actually reach out to, they don't normally have a problem with that. There's something, these people, they have a problem for some reason. I don't know what it is, but they're looking to find, what did we say? They're always looking for conflict. They're always looking for some way to twist something to make it somehow, bad or mean or horrible, nefarious. That's good. Nefarious? That's good. Yes.
Kind of a common flash rumor. I read, what was it, like 2-3 months ago? Yes. So it was a couple months ago, my friend and I here were on the internet, and I was looking you up because I heard that you were coming to the convention. I'm not going to lie, it's kind of nice to meet you.
Well, thank you. It's nice to meet you.
So I just wanted to see what other work you had done. And I don't know if you'd heard about this, but it popped up. It was a petition to get you to not be allowed to come to cons anymore because apparently you're very arrogant.
Clearly.
You don't. You just arrogant. You're very. I don't remember which.
You're
voice
targeting
actor.
you everywhere.
I don't remember which voice acting it was, but they say you're always talking about that one and always like throwing at people saying you need to listen to this thing or this thing. I didn't know if you had heard about it.
Do you know any voice actor that doesn't try to promote work he's done?
No. You're arrogant and you love yourself. You know, it's ridiculous.
That's heartbreaking, you guys. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. I know arrogant people. I know arrogant people who go to conventions. They are short with the fans. They are snobby. You may see them in a flash somewhere, and you know what I'm saying? But they are not about the fans. They are there and gone. I don't know what else I could do to be more open and more, I don't know, you tell me. You guys have any ideas? I mean, you know what, I'm going to go out on a limb here. This is scary that I'm going to do this. Have I done or said anything this weekend to any of you that sounded arrogant or cocky or, no, I'm serious. Go ahead and tell me. I'm opening myself up to it.
You need cry tears of joy.
You know what? Listen closely to what I want to say to you. There's a huge difference between being arrogant and being confident. Okay? I'm not a little kid anymore. Probably a lot of you would shudder if you knew how old I was. Am I right, Mom?
23!
Oh, you would, trust me. You would. But my point is this, I'm not a little kid anymore. But I've been doing the things that I do for a long time. And I have my insecurities and my fears and weaknesses and uncertainties just like anyone else does. But there are certain things that I've come to feel like God has given me certain abilities, and I feel good about things that I do. I'm confident in certain things that I can do, and I'm not so confident in other things. But you mustn't mistake confidence for arrogance. And I would never want to be perceived as arrogant. So I apologize to you, if any of you, if I've done anything or said anything this weekend that you perceived that way. But that is certainly not my intention. If there's some petition, all I can say is, I don't think the conventions are paying much attention to it. Because I don't force myself on conventions. They invite me. And most of them invite me because they know that I love you guys. And they know that I will give 1,000% of my energy and time to their event to try to make it as good an event as it can be. So, I don't know what to say except that I would never want to be perceived that way, and judging from what I just asked you guys, I don't think in general I am perceived that way. There are going to be people that are going to think that. And again, anything you guys can do, I would be more than grateful for you to put your 2 cents worth in on the internet about things like that. Yes?
That I carry my music CDs to conventions in, right? I ship it on the plane or whatever, check bag on the plane. Well, if I were to leave that bag, or if it were to get lost with the airlines, they would need to know how to reach me, right? So I wrote a phone number in nice silver Sharpie on this black plastic suitcase. So I got an email a couple of days ago from a fan who said, "Hi Nick, I know this is kind of weird, but I just wanted to tell you I was at a convention last week, and I was standing there waiting for you to sign something, and I looked and I saw your suitcase, and it said Vic, and it had a phone number, and I wrote it down. Your phone number." And I wrote him down. I wrote him an email back, and I said, "Really? It's precisely because of great people like you. That is not my phone number. That is my assistant's phone number." He wrote me back, LOL. He's like, "That is so funny. I couldn't believe you would actually write your phone number on plain sight for people to see. I just put my assistant's line, so it's, once you lose the bag, somebody calls her and she lets me know." But it wasn't my phone number at all, but he thought that was funny. And I thought somebody might sometimes do that. But, yeah, that's kind of funny. The phone numbers and all, it's kind of funny. Yes?
What is your phone number? Do you have texting?
I got all that stuff. Yes.
It's 555.
My number is so goofy for compute to 7.
I got a 7.
Did you get that? Question. Yes. Are you guys having fun? Yes. It's a rather unorthodox panel, but I think it's kind of interesting. Oh yeah. This question is, do I miss Aaron and being part of Full Metal? That we did Full Metal for a long time together, and certainly I developed a relationship with Aaron. And yes, the answer is absolutely yes. I love Aaron. Aaron is genuinely like a little brother that I never had. I love him to death, and we've had a great time at conventions. We wrestle with each other like brothers, and we have snowball battles like brothers. We tease each other and mess around with each other like brothers. And when I went to Dallas several months ago, he's like, "Hey, you need to come over to my house and have dinner and let me take you for a drive in my new car." And I mean, I love Aaron to death. So it was unfortunate that Aaron couldn't play Al anymore. It's not a matter of him like getting replaced or he got kicked out or he didn't make it. He doesn't sound like Al anymore, you guys. He grew up. When they cast Aaron, he was 12 years old, and it was a calculated risk to cast a little boy that you know eventually is going to grow up. But they got through the whole series and the movie before Aaron's voice started changing. And at the time, there was no clue that there would ever be any more Full Metal Alchemists. And so when they started the new series, everyone was like, uh-oh. Oh, no. And Mike McFarland and Funimation started looking really hard to try to find someone who could fill that role. And Maxie's doing an amazing job, isn't she? I think she's doing a great job. I love her to death. She sounds great. And you know what? It's not to take anything away from Aaron. They're two different actors. But something had to be done. You had to do something. You just had to do something. And I think she's doing a great job. And would you guys do something for me? Would you, if you get a chance ever to write Maxie Whitehead a note on Facebook, or if you ever see her at a con, I want you to go up and tell her what a great job she's doing. She is very, very worried. That's not the right word. She's very, very anxious to do a good job. She knows that this is a big role to fill. And she is really pouring her heart and soul into it. She's doing a great job. But there are some very mean fans out there, as you can imagine. So I would like to encourage you to encourage her, if you can, okay? Because I promise you, she is working really hard to do a good job with that role. Yes? Absolutely. Wait a minute, are you the one that said that I, like, hug fangirls too much or something? Okay. Well, then you definitely deserve one. Yes?
Which one do you like better, Full Metal Alchemist or the Brotherhood?
I could never answer that. He asked, what do I like better? The original Full Metal Alchemist series or the new Brotherhood series? Impossible. Impossible. Mostly because I don't know enough about the new series. I have recorded to a certain point, and that's what I've seen, and that's what I'm familiar with. I've heard it's really a great series. So I'm really expecting to love it to death, but I would never want to compare the two. The original series meant a great deal to me, and it will always have a real special place in my heart. And I expect the new one will as well. Yes.
Kind of not SMA or no rumor related. I'm just curious, what is your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Hey, shut up. Don't be hating Star Trek. My mom. Okay, I'm going to tell on you now. Oh, here's I run around the conventions all the time telling people, my mom was so supportive. My mom was so supportive of my love of Star Trek. And you were, but at the same time, she teased me mercilessly about it, about how much I love Star Trek. She used to call Star Trek Star Trash. And still does. She's proud of it. But some of my favorite movies, Star Wars, the original three. Not the big one. Let's see. Wow, where's the movie? Well, that was a long time ago, yeah. The original Poseidon Adventure. Yeah, not the remake. Again, not the remake. You know, it's another sci-fi, kind of a sci-fi movie that I love is Contact.
Yeah!
Love that movie. Lord of the Rings trilogy. I just bought the Blu-ray. Like last week, I was up on Funimation last week recording Brotherhood, and I was driving home from the studio, and I met a friend of mine for dinner, and we were sitting at dinner, and I said, hey, I looked out the window of the restaurant, and I saw Best Buy, and I'm like, Best Buy, hey, wait a minute. I thought I saw an advertisement about Lord of the Rings on Blu-ray. He goes, yeah, it came out today, and I'm like, and ran over to Best Buy and bought it on Blu-ray. Let's see. What else? There are a lot. I would probably get crazy to start just picking. I love, comedic movie. I love Raising Arizona. Have you guys seen that? That movie is a very funny movie. I like quirky. Yeah, the Indiana Jones movies, of course. I wasn't such a big fan of Temple of Doom, I got to tell you. And I really wasn't a fan of the movie. I'm sorry to say. I thought it was such a lame story. Can you believe that a star like Harrison Ford would wait 20 years to make another Indiana Jones just to make that movie? Can you imagine they probably had 100 different plots? They had probably had all these cool stories. They were probably looking at a pile of ideas for stories, and some alien head is what they come up with. Anyway. Questions. We've got about 15 minutes before the next panel, so I want to make the most use of our time. Does anyone have any other question about anything they've ever heard? Yes?
We need to go, and I was wondering if you would give me one before I left.
Absolutely. Come here. You need to know?
Yeah.
Question? Anybody have a question? Any other questions?
Are you doing any autographs?
I'm doing them tomorrow.
I'm not going to be here
Oh.
We have a musical.
What musical?
Once on the Island.
Oh, cool. What are you playing?
Storyteller. I'm Mama Early.
That's awesome.
Thank you for coming. Thank you so much. Yeah, well, is there anyone
You hear that? Can I have a hug too?
Get over here.
Yes. Oh, you twins. I heard that. Does anyone have any other questions? I want to make sure.
This is how rumors start. Remember yesterday my question? I don't think he does. I asked him if I could have a lock of his hair.
And in this picture, I have a bald spot. That is brilliant. Thank you. Does anyone have any other questions about? I want to make sure that any of the whole reason we're here about the rumor thing. I want to make sure we get any of this. Okay, 1 second.
Yes. I heard that you trashed someone on actual commentary for Dean Angel, another actor, that you didn't like his role or didn't like his part.
Who? You know anything about any more than that?
I didn't want to say the name of the other actor, but
I can't consider. Has anyone ever seen the Dean Angel commentary? Did I trash another actor? Have you seen the commentary?
I haven't.
Okay.
I didn't have the DVD that was supposedly on, but
okay, so you heard that I did this, but you haven't seen the commentary?
No.
Okay, no. Who has seen the Dean Angel commentary with me and Kevin Klein? Yes? Okay, or who has heard it?
I watched the whole thing. I didn't hear a single.
Did I ever say anything about any of the voice actor? Anything? No. And I would never do that. Never. That was really inappropriate. And I tell you what, if I did, the director would have cut it out.
Yeah, I probably think.
They would never have published it that way. They wouldn't have pressed 1 million CDs on a DVD like that.
I didn't really believe it, but...
No, I appreciate you asking, though. No, that's absolutely true. Yes, sir.
Oh.
Woo!
Thank you. You can't put a price tag on meeting good people, and making good memories. And I hope we've done that this weekend, you guys. I hope you've had a good time. Yes, sir.
That's the thing, though. I know, you take it to heart when you read these things that people say about you, and I understand that. But you have to remember that for each person that says something like that, there's a whole lot more that do like you. So
I do understand that, and I really appreciate that. I do, and I really toyed with whether or not I really struggled with whether or not I should do this panel because I didn't know how it would be perceived. But hopefully it's been a good time. We've had fun, laughed a lot, talked about a lot of fun things. But hopefully I've been able to kind of maybe straight from right out of my mouth and from my heart, I've been able to communicate to you guys about some things that you might have heard. So I have given you ammunition or empowered you when you're out and about all over the internet to share your experience and different.
I just want to first off commend your parents for raising such a Christ-centered son. And I want to commend you as an adult for continuing to live that faith.
Well, you were very kind.
Your new project that my daughter told me about, your Gospel of John.
Yes.
What drove you? What inspired you to do something like that?
Well, like I said, and this is probably a great place to end. Like I said in the panel on Friday evening, those of you that were able to be there, I wanted to do something to give back to the fans. And I couldn't think of anything better to give back than something that is precious to me. And it took many, many, many months to record that, and then to play all the music underneath it, and then to get all the CDs pressed and do the artwork and everything. But it became something that I felt very strongly about, and it's not anything I shove down people's throats. It sits there nice and simple on a table, and if anyone's interested, they can take one. But there's no hard sell and trying to force it on anybody. But I just felt like it might be an opportunity for me to share something that is of great value to me, something that's precious to me, with people that I care about.
Is it true you're giving away free copies of it? Because I would love to have
Oh my gosh, it's absolutely true. I've had them at my autograph sessions.
I've been in the artist wing.
We need to get you one. We need to get you one. Do we?
Me too.
Please?
I'll be at your autograph session tomorrow.
You will? This is your daughter, right?
Yes.
You remind me, and I will make sure you, yes. I think you'll enjoy it, too.
I'm sure I will.
And let me can I just say something? You complimented my parents. There are no parents. My mother.
God bless you.
Yeah. And I want to say something else. You guys, I want to end by saying this. I am a screw-up just like everybody else. Please hear me. I'm not setting myself up as anything better than anybody. I'm not claiming to be some super Christian. I just am doing my best. And I make mistakes like we all do, but one thing is for sure. I adore you guys. And I love being a part of this industry, and I love getting the opportunity to come and hang out with you and talk and make connections and share things that I love with you, whether it be Star Trek or anime or Star Wars or Gospel of John CDs that I made or whatever you want to talk about. I love sharing that with you. So thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to hang out. I hope you guys don't go home so soon, and I will see you tomorrow.